What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode number 15 of the Swoosh Hoops podcast. It's your host, Eric, and you also got Ernest and Armastradamus, how we do every week on the Swoosh Hoops podcast. This week, we're going to talk about the All-Star reserves that was just announced not too long ago, and a couple of surprises, especially in the East rosters. There are a couple of them that kind of surprising. I thought in the Western Conference All-Star rosters, the reserves, it could be a little. I say, griping of Anthony Davis being left off for Rudy Gobert, but I think otherwise the rest of the reserves were on point.
That's good. He got left off. AD should have made it, but we could continue. We get into that.
I mean, so we're gonna recap the reserves, see who they were. Hold on one moment. So in the Western Conference reserves, do you have it? Actually, I have it right here. So the Western Conference All-Star reserves: Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Karl Anthony Towns. And for the East, Jimmy Butler, Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Fred VanVleet. Give us your reaction, Ernest. I'm gonna start with you. What was your reaction to the reserves being announced?
For the most part, I don't have an issue with who they picked. I'm glad Garland got selected. The Cavs are playing really well, and he's leading that team. I don't have necessarily. I do have an issue. I think for the East, right? I'm fine with James Harden getting in. I'm fine with Jason Tatum getting in. Zach LaVine. I felt Zach LaVine should have been a starter, but I'm fine with him getting in. I'm fine with Fred VanVleet, and I'm fine with Darius Garland. What I'm not fine with is Jimmy Butler and Chris Middleton, only because Jimmy Butler has missed. He missed a handful of games this year from the Miami Heat. I understand, how they've been playing as of late, but I just think he missed some time due to some injuries throughout the course of the year.
Let's talk about it.
And I felt there were
Let's talk about it.
that have been playing every day.
Let's talk about it.
And Chris Middleton, I just think, I can see that if the Bucks were the number 1 seed in the East, but right now they're sitting at 4. They've been kind of underperforming a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with Chris Middleton either. My replacements would be these 3 guys out of the East. It'll be either LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, or Jared Allen. Those would be my 3. Pick your 2 out the 3, if you will. For the West, I don't have an issue with. DeJounte Murray deserves some consideration there, given the fact that Draymond said this on TNT show. The Spurs are better than what we thought they were going to be, obviously, and he's been putting up crazy numbers this year. Been playing really well, and he's improved. But obviously now Draymond Green isn't playing, and a part of me feels like, Anthony Davis will be his replacement from the totem pole. It's just how especially if AD kind of plays how he's playing now until next week, whatever. But I would like to see DeJounte Murray take that slot, but I just feel like just off of sheer fandom and excitement, I think they'll probably add Anthony Davis as Draymond's replacement. But other than that, I have no problem with the list. But again, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, I wasn't too excited about those two guys being added on to the All-Star roster.
Myself on the East rosters, Jared Allen was one that stood out to me. That was snubbed. The Chris Middleton selection came out of nowhere. I didn't really see the consistency that he had all year long, and plus they've been meddling in the middle of the Eastern Conference standings. So I guess I I don't know. I guess because of whole Giannis connection and what they've been doing, how they've been playing lately. They gave Chris Middleton that push, but he's been inconsistent all year long. And I just thought that Jared Allen was consistently solid all year long, with the fact that him, Garland, Mobley, that Cavaliers team came out of nowhere and is like a half game behind for the first place in the East. So no one saw that coming. So I would have liked to have seen Jared Allen on that roster. Jimmy Butler's, I agree with you, Ernest. He missed a whole handful of games, like 15, 20 games. I know they've been one of the top teams in the East all year, but I just felt like he missed too many games. And I think that's the main reason why I felt like he shouldn't be on there. Miles Bridges would have been. I had him coming.
Anthony Davis didn't make it because he missed.
Yes,
too many games.
So
like before AD got hurt, he was averaging 24 and 10. Like that, those are all-star numbers. So
Jimmy Butler's averaging what 15, 16 a game this year. So
right.
So it's like, okay, I get it, but Miles Bridges playing is probably one of the top candidates for most improved. He should at least got some all-star consideration. And also Jared Allen should have all-star consideration. In the West, I don't have an issue. Maybe DeJounte Murray, because he's been balling and his name is in the trade rumors all over the place. So he's been having a really solid season.
I stand corrected. Jimmy Butler's averaging 22 points.
Okay,
22
points.
rebounds and 6 assists. That is all-star worthy.
Okay, but, I get it.
But he's only played 33 games thus far.
That's the problem.
You see what I'm saying?
So I see.
And AD has played 31 games this season, so that's what I was saying. Let's talk about it.
So in the Western Conference reserves, I have no issue. Devin Booker, I thought he should have been a starter over Andrew Wiggins. But other than that, I see no problem with it. Draymond Green, he's gonna get replaced because he announced that he won't be playing the All-Star game. So that, and other than that, I don't have any gripe with the reserves. So next Thursday they're gonna announce the drafts of the All-Star teams of Team LeBron and Team KD. So it'll be interesting to see how those two set up their rosters. So Armani, what's your give us your reaction?
Real quick, Armani, before you go, just watching this Suns and Hawks game, Trae Young just hit a ridiculous clutch to put the game on ice. That was insane. That was insane.
Can't stand that dude. I'm sorry.
Well, he took over the
garden. I think we're all on the same page. We can all agree about the whole Jimmy Butler thing. Like when I was reading the stats today, I'm just like, bro, like you only played 33 games and AD played 31 games. One's an all-star, one's not an all-star, And I don't have nothing against Jimmy Butler.
One of those guys are averaging a double-double.
Right. I have nothing against Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I have nothing against Jimmy Butler. I have nothing against the Miami Heat, but there's one gentleman that loves to sit there on TNT and call AD street clothes, man. But there's another street clothes in Miami, Florida. Every time I see him, he's hurt, and I'm talking about Jimmy Butler. So keep that same
It's the
energy.
heat culture.
Um,
It's the heat culture. It's the heat culture. That's what they say.
I no 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 no. In the bubble, they was playing up these guys to be dogs. They killers. They coming after you. Like it was a team to watch out for when you was in the bubble. But man's is always hurt. Man is always sitting down. So that's my only issue with that. And I think I just speak for the people here. I was looking all through social media before you went live, and the main names I've seen that people that shouldn't deserve to be an all-star is Rudy Gobert, Chris Middleton, like the interesting guys, like you don't want to watch an all-star game and see them play, but then again, like what you got to constantly remind these guys is that it's the coach voting. So not too sure how Middleton got in over Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball. I think that they add a lot of excitement to the game, just what those two can bring. Um, Jared Allen was a huge snub as well too. But it's actually dope that Darius Garland got in, especially the All-Star game being in the city of Cleveland. Even though he's not a household name, but it's still nice for a player to get nominated to the All-Star team in that respective city. Um, I feel like where was it? What was All-Star? It was in Atlanta, right? So we had Trae Young, and then the year before that was Chicago. I don't think anybody made it from the Chicago Bulls when the All-Star game was in Chicago in 2020. So that's
Nah,
that's a big
nobody.
deal. Right. That's a big deal, just to think about that. DeJounte Murray was also a candidate that got snubbed as well, too. So we're all on the same page here, of all the people who should have made it and all the people. And yeah, that's all I have.
Now, my question to you guys, and I'll spin it back to you, Armani. If you were to take Team LeBron or Team Kevin Durant, right? So we're gonna play this game here. I want you to pick which starting five you would take, and then from the pool, how would you draft your team?
I mean, I would just say this: LeBron drafted by picking the best player. Like what I mean is like he would. What did he do the first time they did this whole draft thing? I think he picked KD.
You pick KD first,
Like
yeah, yeah.
KD first, like
That's like unfair,
bro.
son. That's crazy.
So that's what
Like
LeBron's gonna
LeBron and
end up
KD
doing
on one team.
on
Like,
the
come on,
same
son.
team.
Like
Like that's
LeBron, like,
crazy.
come on. The game don't count, bro.
um, I mean, so also they would give him the first pick. So wait, so out of this player pool, are the starters already on a specific team, or they just pick it from the pool, like starters and reserves?
I think they pick from the pool.
Right. So the thing is, they pick from the pool. So
Mm-hmm.
LeBron gets the first pick for the starters, right?
Okay.
And then KD
And
gets
then
gets the first pick for the
Durant get the
reserves.
first pick for the reserves.
Right. Exactly. So I would
Yeah,
my,
got
my
you.
so my question to you
Bro-
is, if you're
Bron
team
gonna pick
LeBron or team
Giannis.
KD, right? Who would you pick first? And fill out
Bron picking
fill out the
Giannis.
rest fill out the rest of your roster. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Well, now that now that I'm thinking about it, um, when Braun and Curry was on the same team last year, that was
It
actually
was
a big
nasty.
deal because
That was
we never
nasty.
we never seen that before. So
Nah.
I can
Remember,
see
it was
him
him, Giannis,
picking
Dame,
Curry.
and Steph.
And
Yeah.
then if you remember, there
That's
was like
nasty.
that was when the rumors started that hey, Steph and LeBron can hook up and
I
play
still
with the
think it's a
Lakers.
possibility though, but that's
Hmm.
it's like pipe dream. But it can happen. It can happen.
But I can see him picking Curry with the first pick. I can see him doing that. I feel like they have a lot of fun playing with each other, especially
Hmm.
since these two guys been in a rivalry for like a good span of both of their careers. They clashed a lot in the NBA Finals. So I think with his first pick, Braun is going to go with Curry. And as far as KD, I feel like KD and Giannis, man, that's going to be crazy, yo. Like they can play defense by themselves. Just the two of them.
Talk about twin
just the
towers.
two of them hold like each side of the court.
Wait, but also you gotta remember, Durant is still out with that MCL injury.
So someone else is going to replace him.
Oh man, why you gotta be injured, man? Yeah,
someone's going to replace him. And I just feel like they're going to put. I just think they'll move a reserve to the starter. Right, like essentially, like let's just say, maybe Zach LaVine, right, is a starter, or James Harden is a starter, right, and they add LaMelo Ball in as a reserve. I think they should do something like that.
So I can't give you Braun's whole roster, but I could tell you for a fact that he's going to pick up Curry and Ja Morant. I see those two on the team. You know, from past experiences, LeBron like playing with guys that have like guys that have like a lot of hype. You know, that can like bring energy to the crowd and stuff like that. That feeds off the energy. So I could definitely see Ja and Curry being on Team Braun.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go quick here because there's a Laker game coming on in a few minutes. They're playing the Clippers, and the Clippers are favorite by 3.5 tonight, guys. Insane. The one team that has two superstars are the underdogs. It's wild, but I understand. I get it. It makes sense right now. But so for me, obviously, Armani, I agree. I think LeBron will evidently he'll pick Steph or Giannis first, but I think he'll go with Steph first. Just because of his play this year, especially and low key they do like playing with each other, and I think they want to play with each other. If the stars were aligned, I I think LeBron's starting five, and I'm gonna name KD starting five as well. In my opinion, I think LeBron's starting five is gonna be obviously himself, Steph, Ja, Embiid, and Devin Booker. I think that's gonna be his five. And for KD, obviously, he'll get Giannis, DeMar, Jokic, Wiggins, and Trae Young. I think it may swing that way. But yeah, to your point, I just think LeBron's gonna like playing with those guys, especially John Morant. Like imagine him and John Morant just dunking all over the place, taking alley oops. Like that's gonna be a sight to see.
Speaking of which, I was at the game last night, and he started to put on a show last night.
Listen, we don't have to have a depression session right now.
No, we're not having a depression session.
We understand where the Knicks are.
No.
We get it.
This ain't about the Knicks this week. No. Unfortunately, you got a 5-game West Coast road trip. So
yeah, you're coming to us on Saturday, so you better get ready. You better get ready.
Russell Westbrook to the Knicks. Yikes! Come on, man.
Yeah, we got a few minutes to touch upon that. Listen. Well, I know we're going off the program here, but we got to stop with this whole like Russ. Two things can be true. Like I need to I want the NBA society to understand, and NBA Twitter, Lakers Twitter, whatever, with your trade machines and stuff. Two things can be true. Russ isn't a tradable commodity, or Russ is a tradable commodity. It all depends on what team is showing interest and how much are the Lakers willing to pay to get off him. But also another thing can be true, that he's not getting traded. Like, yes, I hate we talk about the Lakers every show, but like it's just like every day there's something, right? With the trade machines, and sometimes I fall victim to it where I go on and I test some things out thinking I'm Rob Pelinka. But like, listen, at the end of the day, like whatever happens is gonna happen. And no one's gonna be satisfied. No matter what, no matter how you slice it, no one's gonna be satisfied. So personally, the idea of the Lakers trading Russell Westbrook, I don't think it'll happen unless they can get like Ben Simmons in return. Like that's a no-brainer to me. I think because you immediately build for the future. But I don't think that's happening, and we can move on from that. But I do want Alec Burke on the Lakers and or Evan Fournier. I think they'll fit so beautifully with the Lakers right now. But needless to say,
listen, y'all need that shooting, and you need that playmaking, and you need size. So, and you need
yeah,
that fourth quarter scoring. So
no,
Burks
you're
hasn't
right.
been he hasn't been playing well these last couple of weeks because he's been out of playing out of position as starting point guard instead of coming off the bench. And Evan Fournier, he's had a nice couple weeks. He had a 30 last night. He
Hmm.
had a couple 20-point
Any
games
reason
during
why
the stretch.
he kept y'all in the game against
Yeah,
Memphis?
against
You know what I'm
Memphis. Yeah.
saying? Yeah. So
So
if imagine a guy like that when the Lakers are going through their stupid, going through the motions and there's no energy, they're turning over the ball left. Like Evan Fournier could actually be a catalyst to spark a run for them. Like I'm just imagining like one play Russ gets a fast break dunk, the crowd's going crazy because you kind of feel the momentum, and then the
mhm.
next play. LeBron is going to the rim and he sees a wide open Evan Fournier for a three. Staples Center is gonna go crazy. Um, so it's one of those things. I mean, I don't know how how feasible it is to get them. I listen. I personally don't think a lot of things are gonna happen for the Lakers on the trade deadline. I could be wrong. Um, but we'll see. Like today on the Bleacher Report, Zach Buckley reported if LA makes a move, three names come to mind: Eric Gordon, Terrence Ross, and Robert Covington. They seem to like high end of what the Lakers might be able to afford, as each man has a reason to come at a discount. So we'll see. It's a lot of smoke out there. A lot of things being thrown to the wall to see what sticks. So we'll see what happens. Today officially, Julius Randle could be traded. So we don't know what can happen. So there's going to be a lot of things happening. Whether the actual trades that go down or it's all smoke and mirrors. But I tell you this, not everybody's going to be satisfied of the outcome of the trade deadline. So take it for what it is, and you just hope your team gets better going into the playoffs.
And also, don't forget, this might be a barometer of what might happen in the offseason. So
Right.
you might test out the waters now. If you don't get the deal that you would like or the deal that doesn't fit the team right now, there's always
You
the
don't
off
think
season.
You don't think, like, for instance, the Lakers, if they're going to make a move, they're going to try to get off Russ in the summer because Russ in the summer is more valuable than he is right now because
Hmm.
Russ in the summer has an expiring contract that upcoming season. So his contract is more likable because now you're going to have teams who are cap strapped who want relief. They'll be like, okay, we'll trade whatever we have for Russ because now that frees up our cap space this offseason. So,
And they,
like, no, go ahead.
I'll say, and also don't forget about picks. So
Yeah,
they might want to protected or unprotected first round pick, a couple of
yeah, you never
seconds.
know. You never
So you
know,
never
man. You
know.
never
You
know.
never know. You never know. Because we put so much emphasis on the trade deadline. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Who's going to get traded? We need this guy traded. We need this guy traded. You never know that teams are shopping around. Teams are calling each other on a daily basis and trying to get at least a barometer of okay, do we how are we going to facilitate this? Can we do it? Is it feasible? How's it going to how's it going to affect our cap sheet for this season and the off season? Because after because once free agency starts in the off season, that's where everything's wide open to me. And I think the reason why we put so much emphasis this season on the trade deadline because I think the NBA, I think the window's wide open for teams to compete for a championship.
Oh yeah,
There's
no
no there's
question.
no
This
clear
is
there's
this
no
is the
clear
biggest
cut
parity,
favorite.
right?
There's
This is the
think about
biggest
it, there's
parity in the league we've
yeah
seen.
there's no clear cut favorite of who's gonna win who's gonna be the odds on favorite
Yeah,
for the championship.
we said that going into the season. Like even though like
Hmm.
the Lakers were front runners to win because of the roster that they built. Obviously Brooklyn the same because of the roster that they have. Milwaukee was on a trying to go back to back, and then Phoenix was looking for redemption. But still, like you see all those teams that I just named, and then you have other teams like the dark horse Miami Heat, the Grizzlies came out of nowhere, the Bulls. So it's like so it's up in the air right now, you know. So everybody's just trying to see and shop to see what they
are
can
in
get.
contention for the 1 seed.
Yeah,
you know, so
everybody's just trying to see what they could get.
Right, exactly, and this is why, the buyout market is not going to be as luxurious as we've seen it before, because you're going to have some teams that are going to be holding on to these players because either they got a shot to get into the play-in, or they have a shot of missing the play-in and actually getting into the playoffs. Because if you look at the East and West, literally in the West, 3 through 10, 11 is compacted when you, and they're separated by at the most 3 to 4 games, and you can drop depending on with COVID situations and injury. And then in the East it's almost the same thing. So it's anybody's game right now. There's no clear cut favorite.
So in the Eastern Conference, 1 through 6 separated by 3.5 games. 1 through 9 separated by only 5.5, and 1 through 12 only separated by 9 games. So if you could go on a run on a 7-game, 8-game win streak, you go from like 12 to like 7 or 6. So teams are not willing to like shop around. I think that all the smoke we getting right now, all the rumors, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get that many moves on the trade deadline. I think because there's so much teams that are so packed in the East, but in the West, I think you can see a couple moves because the gap is much more wider. Because after the Grizzlies at 3, and it's a big drop off because Utah's falling off.
Right, but here's my thing too, though, Eric. Like,
but also
you're absolutely right. But at the same time, like those teams, like I can guarantee you, and Draymond Green said this too. I can guarantee you, those top teams don't want to see the Lakers, the Jazz, or Dallas, whatever. And look, like a first round matchup. Imagine you're the Warriors and your first round matchup is the Lakers. You're like, damn. And then LeBron, AD, and Russ they started to get clicking. Like it's like it's going to be tough for teams to kind of just be like, all right, like let's just punt this season because everyone legit has a shot. Like everyone legit has a shot. And when you get in those matchups, you don't know. Like I could guarantee you, if Memphis gets into a playoff series with the Lakers are going to be favored in that series to win as the underseed.
But
Memphis, it will be tough for the Grizzlies to knock us off.
But that Grizzly team, they got a bunch of dogs in that squad though. It's like, man,
Eric,
they're young.
If you're getting peak Anthony Davis, and LeBron the way he's playing right now, there's nobody. I'm sorry, that Memphis team is not beating this Lakers team. I am sorry.
My thing is I just got to see the Lakers play consistently good ball because they haven't done it all.
No, I feel you. I definitely
you're
feel
right.
You on
Absolutely.
That. I feel you on that.
Mm-hmm. And then I just think that the matchup wise with them and the Lakers, the Grizzlies play fast, man. I'm watching them last night.
In the playoffs, the game slows down. And who is the greatest dictator of game pace? LeBron James. Like he controls the game in so many ways. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I get it. That's
inexperience.
You got the LeBron card, yes. But I think at some point, some of these younger teams, when they face the LeBron-led Lakers team with his age and the injuries that are catching up to him, and Anthony Davis he's trying to get back being healthy. Who are the others that are going to complement those two to at least keep up with that team? Because at some point,
when the Lakers were healthy, when LeBron and AD were healthy last year, the Lakers were 21-9, right? First place in the West. No one was talking about no one was raving how great the Lakers were playing. Like this year, the Warriors and the Suns did the exact same thing, and now they're dawn the favorite, right? Let's get that out the way. 2, LeBron, Russ, and AD have not played enough together to at least formulate some type of rhythm. So again, we're talking too much about the Lakers, but like I'm telling you, I'm not just saying the Lakers. Like also, like if the Clippers, right, are in a scenario where they're like, okay, we drew Phoenix in the first round, and Kawhi and PG is healthy. You think the Clip? Excuse me. You think the Suns want to see Kawhi Leonard, who's been resting all year, and Paul George, who's been resting half of the year, in the first round? Like, I'm just saying.
That's insane.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
That's mad unfair.
That's crazy, right? It's crazy to think
you
about.
know,
It's
listen.
legit crazy to think about.
So listen. So we still got another 2.5 more months till the playoffs begin. So it's going to be real interesting to see where the trade deadline leads these teams to and how they finish up the regular season and playoffs. Because these next 2 months are going to be a grind. It's going to be like a survival to the play-in and who gets in the top six. And there are going to be some teams that should get in, but they won't even get in the play-in. You know,
Yeah.
and and there's and also our final topic before we cut it early. The Brooklyn Nets struggling right now, lost six straight, losing last night against
Oh
the
my God,
Kings.
Russ. Sorry.
um, is there trouble in Brooklyn?
No. Wait. Ernest, we're not saying nothing. Eric, go ahead. Go
No.
ahead. No,
No,
this is
because you know
you.
what? No.
This
Eric,
is you.
speak your piece because you're
Go
the
ahead.
one on last
Go
episode.
ahead.
I checked
You
you,
said you was
right?
gonna go ahead.
I challenged you because you
Mhm.
said the most disappointing team to you
The
has been the
floor is
Brooklyn Nets.
yours.
And my argument was, what are you talking about? They're the 3 seed. They have,
And since what happened? Since then, what
but
happened?
now, but since that conversation, they're now the 6 seed, and
Let's go.
they're on a 5-game, they're on a 6-game, losing
Yeah,
streak at the
they
moment,
lost last
and they
night.
lost to the Sacramento Kings last night. So Eric, you have the floor. I stand
Let's
corrected.
go.
They have been disappointing.
Close out the
Like
game. Let's go.
okay, so like I said before, like I mentioned last episode, they're struggling and it's not good. Um, I just think that they're just so top heavy, and with those three guys, they have never been healthy consistently these last couple of years.
Not
They've
gonna
been
lie,
together.
their bench is really bad. Like,
Like
Really bad.
whoa,
exactly. That's what I'm
whoa.
saying. Their bench has
No,
been
that's what I agree with
ready
you
to
last
fall
week
off.
on that they're top heavy and that the wrestler got
Hmm.
you. What we said last week is that there was no it's the balance. It's a huge drop off.
They're just
When they
non-consistent.
sit, when Katie Harden and Kyrie sit, like it's not like all right, you get some of your good role plays like your six man,
Hmm.
like your Patty Mills that can still like
Right.
put up buckets for you. It dies down quickly to the point
But
that you
see,
play G League guys and stuff like that.
but the problem is too, Armani, with that statement you just said, like, as a coach, Steve Nash, you shouldn't be sitting Kyrie, Katie, and James Harden all at the same
They
No,
time.
have to
right, of
Like,
stagger those
course.
minutes. They have to
now,
stagger those
Of
minutes.
course.
yeah, you have to, because you're so top heavy, you had to stagger those minutes. This is why, like, I yell at the TV so much when I see Frank Vogel, when LeBron and AD or Russ are in the game, right? You'll have, or like, let's just for instance, like the other night, he had AD and AD and Westbrook and Monk in Atlanta off the floor. What are you doing? And that's when Atlanta started to make their run. Like it's stuff like that. It's like at no point should those three guys, KD, Harden, and Kyrie, be off the floor. Like at any
Exactly. That should
iteration of
count.
your lineup, one or two of those guys need to be in the lineup at all times.
Exactly. So that's why I put them as the most disappointing team. And also, when they come back, they're gonna have to restart that chemistry again. Who know? And are they gonna have enough time in the regular season and towards the playoffs to get that chemistry together again? See the same recurrence they did last year. The injuries caught them at the wrong time. They weren't able to finish in the playoffs. And what happened in the playoffs? Kate, Kyrie goes down with the injury, and James Harden with the hamstring. This year, no Kyrie at home games because of the city mandates. James Harden injured, and I believe he has 1 foot out the door. He has 1 foot out the door. And Kevin Durant again injured with the leg injury, the MCL. So, and for exception of Patty Mills and maybe Blake Griffin, here and there, there's literally nothing. They literally got nothing. Like they have And also I'm disappointed that they haven't used Nick Claxton more, and you still using LaMarcus Aldridge and giving him 20 minutes. Like he should not even be playing those many minutes, man. It's like me screaming at Tom Thibodeau playing Todd Gibson 25 minutes. Like he's old. Sit him down.
Or like Vogel
Come on.
playing
DeAndre
Carmelo Anthony
Jordan.
at the
DeAndre
5.
Jordan.
No, or Carmelo Anthony at the 5 for 25 minutes. Like, what are you doing?
Like
Yeah.
Steve Nash. Like, come on, man. Nick Claxton should not be buried on the bench. Like, you should be playing him these 25 to 30 minutes. Like, there's no reason to have LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't care if he has a jump shot. He should not even be playing like 10, 15 minutes. Like, what's really going on? So it's just like, and I know the Nets defense has been much better than last year, but still, they've been so inconsistent all year long. It's been disappointing, and I know they've been saying, oh, wait till KD, Kyrie, James Harden come back all healthy. But every time they say that, what happens? One of them gets injured, or two of them gets injured, or at least all three of them, or at least out of rotation at some point. And now they're in the fight to at least stay in the playoff race at number 6. Because they're only like a game and a half ahead of Charlotte for the play-in tournament. So it's gonna be real interesting to see where this team ends up in April, and God forbid if they end up in the play-in tournament, it's gonna be wow. It's gonna be something. So that's my spiel, and then Ernest, you can take it away.
All I gotta say is winning cures everything. And if Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant comes back, they will start to win again because Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. We all know that. When he was there and with James Harden playing the way he's playing, they were the number 1 seed. So he's the clear, piece, obviously, to their championship hopes. And honestly, them falling in hindsight may be better for them because of the whole Kyrie situation. So we'll see. But you're right. Right now, this 6-game skid and the James
They're
Harden,
panicking
all
right
this
now.
stuff. Yeah, like
They are
it's just
panicking right now.
things are not working the way they thought it was
Their
going
fans
to
are
work.
panicking right now. The two fans I know, panicking.
Yeah.
Okay. So last night after the Nets Kings game, I was on Nets Twitter space. It got so bad that they had to
Oh,
shut
boy.
down because they were literally threatening each other over James Harden. It was
You
that
love to hear it.
it was that bad that
Now I don't know.
fans were threatening each other
Listen,
over James Harden.
I didn't, and I saw it. I didn't jump in to listen what was going on, but like I've been in Lakers spaces. Shout out to the late night Lake show. I've been in those spaces where like the player slander gets crazy. Like what I'm saying, like the Russ slander. I can only imagine after the performance Harden put up last night because we've been there a lot with Russ with the Lakers. So I can only imagine how nasty it was in that
And
conversation.
and you don't forget about Nick's Twitter. Last night was typical Julius Randle beef, Civil War
Yeah, what
type.
was up with him going to the bench and the Memphis bench and doing all
Okay,
that?
during one of the timeouts, Desmond Bain trying to like steal and trying to bully Manuel quickly, and then after Julius Randle goes in and starts to get into it with Desmond Bain. So that's how that little the little altercation started. And then he got ejected late in the game, and then he got a second like late in the game, he got ejected.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah. But
Come on, Julius.
the slander, Julius Randle slander, oof, he's checked out mentally. I don't know what happened because last year it was all about he had a career year last year, but then again he had no fans, and it was a COVID season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a different level.
And then
The
once the
guard is
playoffs
different.
started, you got fans in the stands, full house, and
I
then the
feel like
Atlanta Hawks played that
that all
defense.
just went to his
That was
head.
it. That
It
all
all
went
just
to his
went to
head.
his head. Mm-hmm.
And then, but then again, he started playing well at the beginning of the season, and then tailed off. So
It went to his
now it's like
Is
he's on
he
a trade block,
is
trading
he the
block.
most disappointing player this year?
Yeah,
Mm.
he has to. But then again, it's like some Knicks Twitter were like, it's not surprising because last year was an outlier season for him, and it was a contract year for him. So now this is his second. Remember, this is his third season. His first year was not that good. They're saying this year is worse than his first year with the Knicks. So we'll see. We'll see what moves they make next Thursday, and we'll see how the season goes. Because at this point, it won't surprise me if they missed the playing tournament.
Tough. Tough. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we could wrap this up on this till here. We have to cut it short because you got the Laker game on right now, and I know Ernest and Armani, they want to see the Lakers at least be competitive in this game against the Clippers. You know what I mean? And
yo,
I'm not.
Oh gosh,
I've learned after the triple overtime loss,
the Sacramento Queens.
That's when I was like, I have to emotionally detach from this team.
I've
never felt that level of like just disappointment and anger and just like confusion all at the same time. Like it was such a weird feeling. I was like, you know what? I can't keep going to bed like this.
Bro,
I can't.
Imagine. So I'm gonna give you two right there. I'm gonna give you two real quick. So the game when we lost against the Oklahoma City Thunder was the day before my birthday. And it's the West Coast. So like going into 12 o'clock, I'm starting my birthday on an L, bro. That was one. And then the triple overtime game against the Sacramento Queens, bro. I stayed up till 1 in the morning and had work at 8 in the morning, bro.
Oh my God.
So I'm with you, man. I'm with you, bro.
Yo, so that game, bro. The LeBron, he kept ISOing and shooting threes. I was like, what do you do? Oh my God, man.
Yeah, bro.
Russ with the I don't know what layup, I don't know what he did, but I was just like, this is this. That's when I was like, I could watch the game objectively. I'm going to criticize. I'm going to, obviously point out the great things that they're doing, but I can't be emotionally attached to wins and losses anymore because it is what it is now. It is what it is. I've come to terms with that. So if the Lakers don't make the playoffs or they get bumped in the play-in or in the first round, anything short of a championship, I'm like, I saw it coming. That's where I'm at. So
yeah, we're gonna take a lot of heat, yo.
Yeah, but
all three of us,
real.
All three of us are down bad, man.
Seriously,
all three of us are down bad. Like,
seriously,
come on.
like we in the dumps right now.
Oof. At least you're in the playing tournament. My team is like barely out of it.
Bro, the Clippers have a better record than us, and they're missing their two best stars. Come on. The East, at least your excuse. Yeah, the East got better. East got better. The West got worse. Yeah. If you look at it,
it was the injuries. It was the injuries because I feel like if Kawhi, PG, Jamal Murray, you also can include him as well too. If they were all here, like I feel like it would be balanced, because
yeah, of course.
I feel like that's the only thing that separates between the East and the West.
Yes, like Phoenix wouldn't be as good as people. No. Phoenix would still be good, but people wouldn't paint them as the favorite because, let's just say for sake of argument, right? Like you said, Armani, like Denver was fully healthy. The Lakers were fully healthy. The Clippers were fully healthy. Zion was playing. You know what I mean? Like you look at those things, and you look at the rest, the West, and you're like, wait a minute, maybe Memphis isn't the third seed. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We had him in the play-in when we started. Right. When we started the season.
Right. So it's just you couple with injuries and obviously drama and all this stuff that's going on in the league. I can confidently say that the West would look a lot more dominant if the rest of those teams looked healthy. But evidently that's not what it is, and you got to play with the cards you dealt, man, and you got to beat who's in front of you, no matter if it's Darren Collison or Drew Holiday. It is who it is.
Yep, that's basketball for you. That's NBA for you. So, on that note, we're gonna end it right here. We're gonna
And
end this
real quick,
podcast.
I know we're gonna end it, but real quick, what are you guys expecting a busy trade deadline or a very slow news, nothing really happened trade deadline? Just
I guess
no explanation, really. Just like, yes, this is why. No, whatever. And that's the stat.
I feel like it's gonna be hyped up to be a letdown.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, so nothing's gonna happen. Nothing major, you know.
I could see in between, like not that much, not that many trades, but a good amount of trades.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, trade deadline is next Thursday, so we'll see, and we'll have a trade deadline special Thursday. If not Thursday, guys, we'll be tuned in this week. Yeah, we'll go over what happened after the trade deadline. So expect to hear from us past Thursday, if not Thursday, after the deadline expires, and we'll have a lot to talk about. So until then, peace, be safe, be well, and we holler at y'all.
Peace.
Peace.